Jai Hind everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel which is Explore Yourselves, Banking and General Knowledge, etc. The events of 7th November 2024 are follows. Bengali date 21 Kartik 1431. As per Benimadhav Sil Ponjika, today's Tithi is Shukla Soshti and up to 2052 hours and after that Shukla Saptami. Today's Nakhotra is Purvashada Nakhotra and up to 0934 hours and after that Uttarashada Nakhotra. Today is 312th day of the year. There are then 54 days left in 2024. Today is 45th Thursday of 2024. Today is Chhath Puja, Surya Soshti. Chhath Puja is a significant Hindu festival celebrated mainly in Bihar, Jharkhand, Eastern Uttar Pradesh and Nepal, dedicated to the sun god Surya Dev and Chhati Maiya, consort of Surya Dev. This 4-day festival is observed with great devotion as it is believed to bring health, prosperity and happiness to families. Here is a brief outline of each day. Nahai Khe. The first day is dedicated to cleansing and purification. Devotees take a dip in a river or any clean water body and prepare a sadhvik meal, often starting with Loki Bhat, bottle gourd with rice. Kharna. On the second day, devotees observe a full day fast, breaking it only in the evening with a simple meal, typically made of kheer, rice pudding, puris and fruits. Afterward, they begin a 36-hour fast without water. Sondha Argho. The third day is marked by a special ritual at sunset. Devotees gather at rivers or ponds to offer Argho prayers to the setting sun. This day is often the most visually grand, with devotees offering prayers with fruits, sweets, and other items in bamboo baskets. Usha Argho. The festival concludes with prayers to the rising sun on the fourth day. Devotees break their fast after this morning ritual, completing the puja with blessings and prasad, sacred food. Chhath Puja usually falls in October and November and it follows the sixth day of the Hindu lunar month of Kartika. The festival emphasizes simplicity, purity, and devotion, with many households involving the entire family in preparation and observance. Today is National Cancer Awareness Day. National Cancer Awareness Day is observed in India on November 7 each year to raise awareness about cancer prevention, early detection, and treatment. The day was first announced in 2014 by the Indian Union Health Ministry, aligning with the birth anniversary of Nobel laureate Marie Curie, whose groundbreaking work on radioactivity laid the foundation for radiotherapy as a treatment for cancer. Today is International Stout Day. International Stout Day is celebrated on the first Thursday of November each year to honor the stout beer style, a beloved dark and rich beer with deep flavors. This year it falls on November 7, 2024. Since its establishment in 2011, International Stout Day has become a global celebration for beer enthusiasts, breweries, and pubs to appreciate and explore the wide range of stout variations. Today is International Project Management Day. International Project Management Day is celebrated on the first Thursday of November each year to honor the hard work and dedication to project managers and their teams. This year it falls on November 7, 2024. The day was initiated in 2004 by project management professional Frank P. Saladis, aiming to recognize the contributions of project managers across all industries worldwide. Today is birth anniversary of Mr. Bipin Chandra Pal, 7th November 1858 to 20th May 1932. Bipin Chandra Pal was an Indian nationalist, writer, orator, social reformer and freedom fighter. He was one-third of the Lok Lal Bal Pal triumvirate. He was one of the main architects of the Swadeshi movement. He is known as the father of revolutionary thoughts in India. He also opposed the partition of Bengal by the British colonial government. Today is birth anniversary of Miss Marie Curie, 7th November 1867 to 4th July 1934. Marie Curie was a pioneering physicist and chemist, best known for her groundbreaking research on radioactivity, a term she coined. Born Maria Skłodowska in Warsaw, Poland, she moved to Paris to study and became the first woman to win the Nobel Prize and the only person to receive Nobel Prizes in two different scientific fields, physics in 1903 and chemistry in 1911. Key achievements: discovery of radioactivity. Curie's research laid the foundation for our understanding of radioactive elements. Her work showed that atoms were not indivisible, challenging the physics of her time. Discovery of polonium and radium. Along with her husband Pierre Curie, she discovered the elements polonium, named after her native Poland, and radium. These elements were essential to early research and medical treatments. Nobel Prizes. Physics in 1903, shared with her husband Pierre Curie and physicist Henry Becquerel for their work on radioactivity. Chemistry in 1911, awarded for her discovery of radium and polonium and her isolation and study of radium. Today is birth anniversary of Sir C.V. Raman, 7th November 1888 to 21st November 1970. Sir Chandrasekhara Venkata Raman, commonly known as C.V. Raman, was an eminent Indian physicist who made groundbreaking contributions to the field of light scattering. He became the first Asian to receive a Nobel Prize in Physics in 1930 for his discovery of what is now known as the Raman effect. Key contributions and achievements. Raman effect. In 1928, while studying the scattering of light, C.V. Raman discovered that when light passes through a transparent material, a small fraction of the light is scattered at different wavelengths than the incident light. This phenomenon, later called the Raman effect, demonstrated that photons, light particles, can interact with molecules in a way that alters their energy and wavelength. This discovery revolutionized the field of molecular spectroscopy and is used extensively today in chemical and material analysis. Nobel Prize in Physics 1930. Raman was awarded the Nobel Prize for his work on light scattering and the Raman effect, making him the first Indian and the first Asian to win the prize in the sciences. Today's death anniversary of Mr. Ashwini Kumar Datta, 25th January 1856 to 7th November 1923. Ashwini Kumar Datta was a prominent Indian freedom fighter, social reformer, educationalist, and philanthropist from Bengal. He played a vital role in India's struggle for independence, especially in Bengal, and was deeply committed to social reform, education, and the upliftment of rural communities. Today is death anniversary of Mr. Polly Umrigar, 28th March 1926 to 7th November 2006. Pahlan Ratanji Polly Umrigar pronunciation was an Indian cricketer. He played in the Indian cricket team 1948 to 1962 and played first-class cricket for Bombay and Gujarat. Umrigar played mainly as a middle-order batsman but also bowled occasional medium pace and off-spin. He captained India in 8 Test matches from 1955 to 1958. When he retired in 1962, he had played in the most tests 59, scored the most test runs 3631 and recorded the most test centuries 12 of any Indian player. He scored the first double century by an Indian in test cricket against New Zealand in Hyderabad. In 1998, he received the C.K. Naidu Lifetime Achievement Award, the highest honor the Indian Cricket Board can bestow on a former player. Today is death anniversary of Miss Eleanor Roosevelt, 11 October 1884 to 7th November 1962. Anna Eleanor Roosevelt was an American political figure, diplomat and activist. She was the First Lady of the United States from 1933 to 1945, during her husband Franklin D. Roosevelt's 4 terms as President, making her the longest serving First Lady of the United States. Through her travels, public engagements and advocacy, she largely redefined the role of First Lady. Roosevelt then served as a United States delegate to the United Nations General Assembly from 1945 to 1952 and took a leading role in designing the text and gaining international support for the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. In 1948, she was given a standing ovation by the Assembly upon their adoption of the Declaration. President Harry S. Truman later called her the First Lady of the World in tribute to her human rights achievements. Today is birth anniversary of Mr. Konrad Lorenz, 7th November 1903 to 27th February 1989. Konrad Lorenz was an Austrian zoologist, ethologist, and ornithologist renowned as one of the founding figures of ethology, the scientific study of animal behavior, especially in natural environments. His pioneering work on animal behavior, particularly in birds, earned him the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine in 1973, shared with Karl von Frisch and Nicholas Tinbergen. Today is birth anniversary of Mr. Albert Camus, 7th November 1913 to 7th January 1960. Albert Camus was a French Algerian philosopher, writer and journalist known for his contributions to philosophy, especially his exploration of existentialism and absurdism. His works grappled with themes of human existence, freedom and the search for meaning in an indifferent universe. In 1957, he was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature for his literary works that illuminate the human conscience in the face of absurdity. He was the recipient of the 1957 Nobel Prize in Literature at the age of 44, the second youngest recipient in history. His works include The Stranger, The Plague, The Myth of Sisyphus, The Fall, and The Rebel. Today, that is 7th November, highlight in history. 1619, Elizabeth Stuart is crowned Queen of Bohemia. 1665, the London Gazette, the oldest surviving journal, is first published. 1723, O Vicit du Donnerort BWV 60, a dialogue cantata by Johann Sebastian Bach for Leipzig, was first performed. 1775, John Murray, also known as Lord Dunmore, the royal governor of the colony of Virginia, starts the first mass emancipation of slaves in North America by issuing Lord Dunmore's Offer of Emancipation, which offers freedom to slaves who abandoned their colonial masters to fight with Murray and the British. 1786, the oldest musical organization in the United States is founded as the Stoughton Musical Society. 1811, Tecumseh's War. The Battle of Tippecanoe is fought near present-day battleground in Indiana, United States. 1837, in Alton, Illinois, abolitionist printer Elijah P. Lovejoy is shot dead by a mob while attempting to protect his printing shop from being destroyed a third time. 1861, American Civil War. Battle of Belmont. In Belmont, Missouri, Union forces led by General Ulysses S. Grant overran a Confederate camp but are forced to retreat when Confederate reinforcements arrive. 1861, the first Melbourne Cup horse race is held in Melbourne, Australia. 1874, a cartoon by Thomas Nast in Harper's Weekly is considered the first important use of an elephant as a symbol for the United States Republican Party. 1881, Mapuche uprising of 1881. Mapuche rebels destroy the Chilean settlement of Nueva Imperial after defenders fled to the hills. 1885, the completion of Canada's first transcontinental railway is symbolized by the last spike ceremony at Craigellachie, British Columbia. 1893, women's suffrage. Women in the US state of Colorado are granted the right to vote, the second state to do so. 1893, an anarchist throws two bombs in Barcelona's Liceu Opera House, killing 20. 1900, Second Boer War. The Battle of Lily Fontaine takes place, during which the Royal Canadian Dragons win 3 Victoria Crosses. 1907. Jesus Garcia saves the entire town of Nacojari de Garcia by driving a burning train full of dynamite 6 kilometers 3.7 miles away before it can explode. 1910. The first air freight shipment from Dayton, Ohio to Columbus, Ohio is undertaken by the Wright brothers and department store owner Max Morehouse. 1912. The Deutsche Opernhaus, now Deutsche Oper Berlin, opens in the Berlin neighborhood of Charlottenburg with a production of Beethoven's Fidelio. 1913. The first day of the Great Lakes storm of 1913, a massive blizzard that ultimately killed 250 and caused over $5 million, about 1,18,000 98,000 in 2013 dollars damage. Winds reach hurricane force on this date. 1914. The German colony of Kiautschou Bay and its center at Tsingtao are captured by Japanese forces. 1916. Jeannette Rankin is the first woman elected to the United States Congress. 1916. Woodrow Wilson is re-elected as President of the United States. 1916. Boston Elevated Railway Company's streetcar number 393 smashes through the warning gates of the open Summer Street drawbridge in Boston, Massachusetts, plunging into the frigid waters of Fort Point Channel, killing 46 people. 1917. The October Revolution, which gets its name from the Julian calendar date of 25th October, occurs according to the Gregorian calendar. On this date, the Bolsheviks stormed the Winter Palace. 1917. World War I. The Third Battle of Gaza ends with British forces capturing Gaza from the Ottoman Empire. 1918. The 1918 influenza epidemic spreads to Western Samoa, killing 7,542, about 20% of the population by the end of the year. 1918. Kurt Eisner overthrows the Wittelberg dynasty in the Kingdom of Bavaria. 1919. The first Palmer raid is conducted on the second anniversary of the Russian Revolution. Over 10,000 suspected communists and anarchists are arrested in 23 US cities. 1920. Patriarch Tikhon of Moscow issues a decree that leads to formation of the Russian Orthodox Church outside Russia. 1929. In New York City, the Museum of Modern Art opens to the public. 1931. The Chinese Soviet Republic is proclaimed on the anniversary of the October Revolution. 1933. Fiorello H. La Guardia is elected the 99th mayor of the New York City. 1936. Spanish Civil War. The Madrid Defense Council is formed to coordinate the defense of Madrid against nationalist forces. 1940. In Tacoma, Washington, the original Tacoma Narrows Bridge collapses in a windstorm a mere 4 months after the bridge's completion. 1941. World War II. Soviet hospital ship Armenia is sunk by German planes while evacuating refugees and wounded military and staff of several Crimean hospitals. It is estimated that over 5,000 people died in the sinking. 1944. Soviet spy Richard Sorge, a half Russian, half German World War I veteran, is hanged by his Japanese captors along with 34 of his ring. 1944. Franklin D. Roosevelt is elected for a record fourth term as President of the United States. 1949. The first oil was taken in Oil Rocks Neft Distillery, the world's oldest offshore oil platform. 1956. Suez Crisis. The United Nations General Assembly adopts a resolution calling for the United Kingdom, France and Israel to immediately withdraw their troops from Egypt. 1956. Hungarian Revolution. Janos Kadar returns to Budapest in a Soviet armored convoy, officially taking office as the next Hungarian leader. By this point, most armed resistance has been defeated. 1957. Cold War. The Gaithar report calls for more American missiles and fallout shelters. 1967. Carl B. Stokes is elected as mayor of Cleveland, Ohio, becoming the first African American mayor of a major American city. 1967, US President Lyndon B. Johnson signs the Public Broadcasting Act of 1967, establishing the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. 1972, United States presidential election. US President Richard Nixon is re-elected in the largest landslide victory at the time. 1973, the United States Congress overrides President Richard Nixon's veto of the War Powers Resolution, which limits presidential power to wage war without congressional approval. 1975, in Bangladesh, a joint force of people and soldiers takes part in an uprising led by Colonel Abu Taher that ousts and kills Brigadier Khaled Musharraf, freeing the then house arrested army chief and future president Major General Ziaur Rahman. 1982, Colonel Sae Jarbo, president of the military government of Upper Volta, is ousted from power in a coup defeat led by Colonel Gabriel Yordan Sam. 1983, United States Senate bombing. A bomb explodes inside the United States Capitol. No one is injured, but an estimated $250,000 in damage is caused. 1983, Cold War. The Common Post exercise Able Archer 83 begins, eventually leading to the Soviet Union to place air units in Germany and Poland on alert for fear that NATO was preparing for war. 1987, in Tunisia, President Habib Bourguiba is overthrown and replaced by Prime Minister Zine Ai Abedin Ben Ali. 1987, the Mass Rapid Transit MRT system in Singapore opens for passenger service. 1989, Douglas Wilder wins the governor's seat in Virginia, becoming the first elected African American governor in the United States. 1989, David Dinkins becomes the first African American to be elected mayor of the New York City. 1989, East German Prime Minister Willy Stopes, along with his entire cabinet, is forced to resign after huge anti-government protests. 1990, Mary Robinson becomes the first woman to be elected President of the Republic of Ireland. 1991, Magic Johnson announces that he is HIV positive and retires from the NBA. 1994, WXYC, the student radio station of the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, launches the world's first internet radio broadcast. 1996, NASA launches the Mars Global Surveyor. 1996, ADC Airlines Flight 086 crashes on approach to Murtala Muhammad International Airport in Lagos, Nigeria, killing all 144 people on board. 2000, the controversial US presidential election is later resolved in the Bush versus Gore Supreme Court case, electing George W. Bush as the 43rd President of the United States. 2000, the US Drug Enforcement Administration discovers one of the country's largest LSD labs inside a converted military missile silo in Wemego, Kansas. 2004, Iraq War. The interim government of Iraq calls for a 60-day state of emergency as US forces storm the insurgent stronghold of Fallujah. 2007, the Jokela school shooting in Jokela, Tuusula, Finland takes place, resulting in a death of 9 people. 2012, an earthquake off the Pacific coast of Guatemala kills at least 52 people. 2017, Samsat TV is attacked by armed gunmen and suicide bombers, with a security guard killed and 20 people wounded. ISIS claims responsibility for the attack. 2020, Joe Biden is elected the 46th President of the United States, defeating incumbent Donald Trump. 2023, Antonio Costa resigns as Prime Minister of Portugal following news of an investigation in a corruption scandal implicating members of his cabinet. Thank you very much for your patience.